Hello, my friends. Looking out, we see nothing but endless stretches of brown sand. But beyond these sandy winds, cattle herds roam under the scorching desert sun. These tents mark where intense vitality meets nature's harshness. Welcome to the Gobi, one of the world's most arid lands. It's a cold desert with grasslands, winter lows of 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and summer highs of 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's explore how farmers graze cattle in this harsh environment. Cattle grazing is crucial to desert farmers' daily life and main income. In the herds, camels usually make up about half. Sheep and goats account for roughly the other half. Horses are a small percentage, mostly in the lush southeast semi-desert. Cattle ranchers mainly focus on areas with water sources and steppes, as this ensures good grazing for their livestock and makes their daily lives more comfortable. Herds of horses, sheep, goats, and camels roam freely with few visible shepherds. In this desert during summer, all animals graze freely. However, they're still managed by the men of the family. Farmers use motorcycles to monitor their herds, ensuring they're safe. Unlike Arabian deserts, where cattle return nightly for food, Gobi herds stay out until summer's end. With big temperature swings, summer days last well past 9 p.m. Cattle can graze on wild pastures during the long daylight hours. They also withstand the harsh environment. Mongolia is one of Earth's last remaining pastoral nations. Their economy relies on livestock, and they spend most of their lives on grasslands. This view is unique. You won't find it anywhere else. Behind the sunlight, camel and shepherd silhouettes were etched in sand. It also portrays a nomadic culture, typical of the Gobi Desert. Global warming has made winters harsher, directly impacting shepherds' lives. Yet nomadic life endures here, with some old traditions being revived. He encountered the camels. The species symbolizes resilience in harsh environments. They're well adapted to the Gobi's extreme, hot and cold climate. This cattle breed greatly benefits pastoral herders. Besides economic benefits, large camels transport goods and furniture during migrations. They're also great for crossing deserts and mountains. Camels provide food sources for shepherds as well. At dawn, farmers begin to leave their tents. They visit and prepare the camels for grazing. Grassy areas near the tents get priority. As grass diminishes, they move through the valley and over rolling hills. Farmers say camels don't breed well in small groups. Their population only grows when kept in large herds. While waiting for meals, farmers milk camels and chat. They discuss camels, livestock, and weather. In an hour, the farmer milked over 40 camels outside the barn. On average, they sell about 2 tons of fermented camel milk, generating decent revenue. Traveling through the vast Gobi wilderness, you'll encounter sudden sandstorms. One day might be warm and peaceful. The next could bring a fierce snowstorm. Even experienced Gobi shepherds sometimes get lost in severe dust storms and blizzards. When unsure of their tent's direction, they'd release their camel to roam freely. Amazingly, the camel walks calmly, never losing its way in any blizzard. Herders might find themselves home before they even realize it. Camels are undoubtedly very intelligent and intuitive animals. As snow melts, herders will let their livestock graze in the pastures. Camels will roam from steppes to vast semi-deserts in search of food. A day in the busy life of cattle ranchers often flies by. The farmer and his camels quietly returned, ready to end a tiring day. While camels thrive in dry deserts, goats also resist drought and find food in sparse pastures. Both farmers not only graze and feed their animals daily, but also harvest their hair. The collected hair is used to make carpets, scarves, and handicrafts. The number of goats in each herd is enlarged, but remains stable. The mix of camels and goats helps farmers reduce risks and optimize resources. Life for shepherds in the Gobi Desert is a challenging journey. They often move with their herds, setting up portable tents for shelter from cold winds. These shelters also protect them from earthquakes and sandstorms. You see farmers setting up tents, prepping for the journey. A group of people and cattle migrated, worry in their hearts. Poor soil forces pastoralists to seek new grazing lands for their herds. Caring for livestock demands deep knowledge of their ways and health. It takes patience, but builds strong bonds with the animals. Farmers are shepherds and guardians of culture and tradition. Cattle farmers hope to make their tough lives a meaningful journey. After hardships, we still see mobile tents at the hill's base. Birds and herders endure the harsh Gobi Desert, unyielding. The sun peeks through the trees as ducks roam the fields. This scene is common in Asian duck farming countries. But how do field ducks like these end up on your plate? In today's video, we follow farmers to find the answer. We'll also learn how farmers raise millions of ducks. While developed nations use closed cage systems, most developing countries raise ducks traditionally. Ducks are harder to cage than chickens, being messier and needing water access. The ideal life for ducks is grazing in open fields. They need space to roam, explore, and access water areas. Ducks' bodies are adapted for water. Webbed feet, waterproof feathers, and insulating down. Ducks have advantages over other birds, especially disease resistance. They are hardy, great foragers and easy to raise, especially in wet areas where they gather in flocks. You can see the warehouse has food bags to meet the duck's huge appetite. Daily, he needs to take about 3 to 5 bags of food to the ducks. A downside of ducks on a balanced diet is food waste, due to their shovel-shaped beaks. This leads to less efficient food use, as they can't get all the food provided. This explains why duck meat and eggs cost more than chicken. For ducks can yield well, even when food quality isn't the best. So besides feeding, ducks forage in fields during harvest and return home later. After about 29 days, these eggs will hatch. The facility owner then selects healthy breeds for breeding. Here, day-old ducks arrive weekly, kept warm with heat lamps and fed for 14 days. They are also vaccinated against poultry diseases. After barn care, healthy ducklings adapt to new foods. They adjust to an environment with water and sunlight. Farmers then move ducklings to fields for natural grazing. In Southeast Asia, native ducks have been bred for meat or eggs for centuries. In Indonesia and Philippines, ducks are mainly raised for eggs, not meat. Duck meat is mainly consumed by Chinese, Hong Kong Japanese, and Korean communities, with most imported from Asia. About 40% of duck meat imports go to these 3 countries. Singapore, however, is the top importer of live ducks for processing, worth about $30 million annually. Fertilizers are another key byproduct with high economic value, whether sold by farmers or used directly on crops. Feathers can also be sold. In mixed farming systems, other products, like eggshells, can be used as feed for other livestock. Duck farming is a crucial sector in the poultry industry of Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. This involves permanent duck rearing, allowing them to graze around villages and be sheltered near homes at night. Meanwhile, in this mobile farming system, ducks are moved to areas where rice was just harvested. They can stay there for a day or 2 foraging for food in rice-growing countries. There's a synergy between duck and rice production. Grazing ducks act as natural predators, eating insects and snails. Ducks, as predators and fertilizer producers, help increase crop yields. Integrating ducks in rice farming helps farmers adapt to climate change and reduce pesticide use. Most farmers choose this method to sell their rice at a premium price. Farmers often combine duck and fish farming for sustainable small-scale agriculture. Some farmers warn that ducklings can damage young rice plants. When crops start to fruit, it's time to shoo away the ducks to prevent damage. While no duck lays daily, most lay throughout winter without extra light. You can expect about 250 to 325 eggs per day. From a flock, care for these ducks. Farmers closely monitor them during breeding to prevent egg loss. They can lay eggs anywhere, anytime, so there's no set schedule. Farmers can only watch study and try to collect all the eggs. After collection, eggs are sold to traders and local producers. Dogs accompany farmers throughout the herding process. They stay close to the ducks to protect them, regardless of terrain. Before loading ducks, farmers recount to ensure none are left behind. Organic rice farming requires lots of work for weeding and soil health. A duckling's movement naturally aerates and strengthens the soil. This process reduces manual labor, allowing farmers to diversify and potentially earn more in premium food markets. In Thailand, some farmers switch to Barbary ducks, introduced by royalty for their unique meat quality. Year-round availability of Barbary duck products is key to attracting customers. Barbary ducks can weigh up to 8 pounds, taking 65–85 days to grow, while other breeds need about 45 days. This results in fewer production cycles. However, Barbary duck fetches a higher price at $3.21 per kilogram. A duck farmer's day in northern Mexico typically starts very early. The first task is checking duck health, inspecting feeders and covering them with straw. It also adjusts the temperature to keep ducks comfortable when it gets hotter outside. At day's end, cleaning ensures farm hygiene is maintained at a standard level. At 6 or 7 weeks old, meat ducks are ready for the slaughterhouse. Their ducks are cleaned, preserved and sold as packaged products. They are sold domestically through retailers and restaurants. About 68% of duck farmers raise only 1 flock per year. 18% raise 2 flocks yearly, depending on breed and farming purpose. The number of workers varies from 1 to 7, based on flock size. Farmers often live in tents, cooking and storing extra duck food there. Besides being tough work, duck farming poses many health risks. Exposure to ammonia and dust can cause bronchitis, asthma and eye issues.